Mm.
And the podcast that should have started 47 minutes ago, but I'm pretty sure at the end of the day that was all my fault. Rodney, last week, Rodney Norman and I tried to do this on Skype. I got it, and then Skype is getting so weird that I could not move that recording to anything, to Audacity or anything. It wouldn't allow me to save it or transfer it or anything. It just sat in there, and I couldn't move it. The recording was sitting there. It wouldn't allow me to access it, and I talked with you and Larry Soares that week. For everyone that's out there missing one of those, you only missed a good Rodney one. I love Larry, but that was not going to be a highlight film one. I'll have Larry on again, and that'll be more fun. But I like this Zoom better, and I'm happy Rodney and I worked it out. But at the end of the day, I think we're both doing the testing on here, this net. There was a little thing in the bottom that said join audio, and I didn't hit that for 46 minutes. Everything was sounding good, and you're like this and that, whatever, and I was unplugging things and this and that, and you said it's saying you're not connected. I look, it says join audio. I'm like, I thought that meant for you to join the audio because I invited you, but no. Here we are, technology, part 2 with Rodney Norman. And Rodney, the first thing I'm going to ask you is this. If you had to make a new sport now, because with the quarantine and we can't go to sporting events, what is the sport that you think people can watch while being quarantined through this world that we can invent, or a sport that already exists that you think can become big now?
No contact football.
But
or
all 6 feet, everyone's 6 feet apart.
You have to pretend that everybody has a 6-foot force field around them, and so it takes a lot of acting.
No, I don't think you pretend, Rodney. I think you on the helmet you put like this extender that comes out 6 feet, and so that way that's from your head to their head. No, they're 3 feet each. So that way, if they connect, it's a head-to-head 6-foot collision.
Oh, there you go. Or you could do like, you could actually have like sensors on the hand. So if you just get close enough to the person, like within a foot or so.
Yeah, but you could hack the sensors, and that'd be the new cheating. The Patriots would find a way to use that now. They would hack that. It would be sensor gate. So I think you'd have to have like the extenders, and the extenders could be like long and white, and then you could put advertising on the extenders. Like this head-to-head collision from 6 feet away was brought to you by Ben Gay. Like, and it says Ben on one and Gay on the other, and they combine, and it's nice. And I think that would be good. I think bowling has a chance to be a national pastime.
Yeah, bowling, ping pong.
But I know there is a part, I really think you could do bowling like we're doing this Zoom right now. I'm on one screen in one place, you're in another bowling alley, and all you need is the scores on top, and then people could watch us bowl. Bowling's the only one where you can, ping pong, I don't care if the guy misses. Bowling, like golf, I think if you have that golf patience, you can sit there and say, oh, he's got to get this split. I mean, I could see myself getting into it. I don't like bowling, but I could see myself becoming a fan of someone. I think people with the room in their homes, like people that are like athletes who have basketball courts, could easily turn them into bowling alleys, and then they could become stars. You know what I mean? Like LeBron James could become like the best bowler of all times. What would stop him? And I'd watch LeBron James bowl. And he could bowl against Michael Jordan, and now you have the matchup you always wanted. Because Jordan can still bowl. You're not too old to bowl. Sure.
Yeah, if Michael Jordan took up bowling, he'd probably yeah. I'm with you on that.
Or people would go, oh, why did he retire and bowl for a year? He should come back to the Bulls. What, he thinks he's going to be a great bowler just because of that? It's like, hey, he was still good enough to play baseball at a major league level. Yeah, I know he was Jordan, but he still was good enough. They would have said, dude, you're going to embarrass yourself. But I'm sure he wouldn't be bad at bowling. I can see bowling. I can see shadow boxing. I think shadow boxing could be huge.
Shadow boxing, yeah.
And the level of your boxing depends on the brightness of the light, because your shadow becomes bigger, then you have to deal with the reach. And it's all watching the reach of the shadow hitting you before you hit the shadow. and there's judges who watch online, and you decide. I mean, that could be the new shadow boxing. Could be big. And I think the best would be somebody with no arms. How do you stop that? Somebody with no arms is finally going to be a great athlete.
There you go. This is a great equalizer.
I think we're going to have to get new things. I know people are watching marbles. Marbles going on tracks are a big thing. People are watching online, and they're gambling on it. You're choosing which little marble goes the fastest in a marble race.
Yeah.
That's a real thing people are doing. I think
Uh,
dog fighting should come back.
Cockfighting.
Why not?
Have you seen? Was it NASCAR? Is basically they're just doing a video game, or it's called iRacing. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
The actual drivers from NASCAR log in and they race on a video game. It's like a complete simulation of all the tracks and everything.
So when you're
And
watching it, you're watching cars go around. You're not in the car
yeah,
with
it
them. You're
looks
watching the
just, I
cars.
mean, if you didn't know, when you first tune in, you would think you were watching an actual race.
That's
Because
the.
you have the real announcers on there and everything. It's awesome.
Now, what about like the pit changes? Do they do that or no? You don't get any pit
Yeah,
changes.
that's where you see where it's weird, because then they just pull in and then the car shakes and then all of a sudden they're back on the track.
See, what they should do to make it feel real for the NASCAR people, make it so the people that are playing the video, so if the race car driver is in there, his battery can go low instead of a tire going bad. And like, so he's got it's an advantage. Like he can have a wireless, like say controller, but after a while it goes low. So he has to plug in for a little bit. So it gives him the disadvantage to get closer to the thing while he's plugged in. And then they can pull back later on. And his crew's got to be good at keeping it charged the entire time. I think you need that element. I'm not a NASCAR guy, but you need that element of like something could
Oh, they
go
do.
wrong.
Oh, they have it. It's engineered, or it's programmed down to where they have to change tires, they have to come in for fuel. I mean, it depending
Right, but
on
that's still a program. You need that.
Yeah.
You need that human stupid element. Like,
Oh, you still need to have.
yeah, you need
Oh,
that. That's because the computer is controlling, and you could say this, that, whatever. It's that you can't, as the driver, choose if that happens to you, and like somebody could just rig that. You need that element of like this isn't plugged in right, or like your game has a scratch on it, or something like that. It's like,
Yeah.
Or for 5 minutes, your kids have to be in the room with you while you're trying to race, and then they're distracting you and grabbing you, and you have to deal with the obstacles of that. I think that could be. I'm telling you, I think animals fighting, because animals don't get COVID, right? Like one tiger and a bat, obviously, who started this. So I think you could have animals fight. I know that's wrong back when we were civilized people, but right now,
all the rules are gone now.
All the rules are gone.
Everything's changed.
9/11 doesn't matter anymore. We got COVID. So it's like we could change everything. So I think dogs fighting with sponsors, but like safe dog fighting. Like they wear little helmets and they have like little oven mitts on their paws. But and there's a point system like in Olympic boxing where they've got little sensors on them and they hit each other.
So you basically create dog wrestling.
Yeah, yes. Because I'm trying to watch regular wrestling. I love wrestling, and WrestleMania just happened, and this was sad for me because I watched two people work very hard to wrestle in front of no one but two other announcers and a referee. No audience, and they're used to playing to the crowd, and they're trying to – and it was weird. And I don't know if you know who Eric Bischoff is, but he's a guy who ran wrestling for WCW for years, and he's on podcasts now. And he said to explain what it was like watching Dances with the Stars, but there's no music. And like, yeah, they could be the two greatest dancers of all times. It's still fucking weird. You know what I mean? To watch it. It's like some people now getting upset at watching comedy. The comics trying, like we talked about on the podcast that never happened, talking about the comics who are doing like the open mic thing on a video and trying to stream it out there, and there's no audience, and people are saying even if they are funny, even though I can sit there and laugh, that disconnection makes it weird for me as the audience and as you as the comic, and it's an odd thing. When you're sitting at home watching like Tom Segura's new Netflix special, there's still an audience on there. He didn't perform it in front of no one, and then I watched it at home. Because if that was the real case, they wouldn't record TV specials in front of an audience. They would just go, we'll just record it and you watch it at home. But they still need us to have that element of the audience there, so it's still stand-up comedy. So you need something. And then that's why NASCAR needs hillbillies. Now NASCAR needs rednecks. NASCAR needs someone screaming for murder. They need that random celebrity who has a movie coming out and doesn't even know what NASCAR is, and they're just standing there on the side looking lost and making weird jokes about like ratchets or something. They don't even know what they're saying. They're just like, all right, come see my movie, get her done, or whatever. No. and it's just odd. It's odd. If we're gonna move forward, because the world's not gonna go back to normal. People are going to be afraid. Some things are going to change forever. We need events to watch, and I think we need to come up with new events. Now, there's not going to be a lot of combat stuff. I think chess could become huge. I'd watch two people play chess.
Yes, yeah.
I think I think the nerd was already becoming cool because of comic books and the such. But now I think the nerd could become cool in the games. People would probably watch Dungeons and Dragons or games like that where it's skill and strategy.
They do. They do.
No, but I mean people, not the fucking people I used to beat up. People, not dorks, not people that were in basement. Yeah, they watch it, but no one's I've never been on TV and had an option to watch Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe if I went through YouTube and you found me the handsome actor who says he also likes it, and now it's okay. But I want to see 4 fat, pasty, inhaler-using nerds battle to the death because they're so good at what they do. I want to see their rankings. I want like Sports Center to have the ticker underneath and tell me their stats and how many 2-headed gargan monsters they've destroyed in the last 4 weeks and how many times they haven't masturbated to their sister. Like I want to see those stats underneath.
I think it's coming. I think it's coming.
That's the name of the show. I think it's coming.
People are going to start doing competitive solitaire.
I do think in that Dungeons and Dragons game, though, you said it right there. While he rolls the dice and he gets so excited, and his sister walks in, he goes, "I think it's coming." It's like, that's the name of the show. So, all right. Yesterday I recorded a podcast with Brandon Smith, and
yeah,
I'm trying a newer thing now, like I just did with you. I want to. Yeah, we have to talk about things that are happening with the quarantine, but I don't want to. I think every podcast is starting with that. So I'd rather, what's my most fun when I talk about crazy shit like make up a sport like I just did with you. Same thing with Brandon. I wanted to go somewhere like that. And I thought if I gave him an idea, maybe it would last 5-10 minutes and then we'd have to go into conspiracies and stuff. We stayed on the same subject for 45 minutes and we did not talk about the quarantine, the conspiracies, or anything, because I came up with an idea the other day for a TV show, and I don't know if you saw it on Twitter.
Yeah,
it got like 60 likes, and I know at first it seems weird, but Brandon and I mapped out what this show could be, and we're going to start doing table reads for it on Zoom. And I thought of you right away as being someone who could help us with this as well. Obviously not to play. And for people that didn't listen to the Brandon episode, the name of the show, the working title is Not So Special Now. And the theme of the show is there was a guy who was retarded, and one day he woke up and he's not retarded anymore. No one knows why, what happened, whatever. And now he's got to go through life having all the skills and knowledge of someone who lived their life retarded, but now is not. So they don't know what to do, but they look like they know what to do. And some people believe him that he used to be that other because he changed his look enough. A lot of people said to me, Rob Schneider is perfect for this role, which I don't know is an insult or a compliment, but I think he would be good for it. But it would be in a very like Always Sunny type frame of mind where it's dark. Brandon and I really worked a lot of it out. So like the second main character would be the guy who was his aide, his helper, but this guy was like scummy and like, he kind of took advantage of him. Now, and he never knew that. He was using his benefits. He was like a scumbag that was taking advantage of this retarded guy and living off him. Now that this guy isn't retarded, he's starting to realize that he was kind of being hoodwinked as he starts to learn things in life. The farther it goes, the more he starts to learn.
Yeah.
So another character would be the sister of the guy who's an asshole, and she's a stripper. And now the retarded guy who's not retarded now is now starting to notice her because he was retarded. He wasn't horny. He was just retarded. And now he sees her, and now he can't be tricked by the helper guy. He's being tricked by the sister, and they're both trying to outscam each other to get all this stuff from him. And he also lives with his godfather. We decided to be the godfather, and he's black, the godfather. No one else is black. I don't think retarded people will be black. I think if we don't want to get taken off the air, no one in any bad setting there have to be white people, except for the godfather, who's not a bad person. He just served in Desert Storm with the father of the retarded character, who, by the way, his name is, what did we go with? Damn it. Was it Garrett? It was something like that. Gregory, or I forget. It was some dumb name like that. And it like Spazinzi or something like that. But, I forgot the name of it. Gerald Spazzini. That was the name of the guy. And his brother in his father and mother, they died at 9/11, not because of 9/11. It just happened to be 9/11, and they were in Iowa driving a car, and they got hit by a tractor coming out of a cornfield. Some people say it didn't happen. Some people say it's a conspiracy, that they didn't really die on 9/11, and they actually just faked their death because the father found out that his best friend, the godfather of the kid, who's a man now, was sleeping with his wife. So a year before he died, quote unquote, he left the son to the godfather in case something happened to them. So some people think he died. They go, haha, you want to sleep with my wife? Here's a retarded son that you now have to take care of forever. And they have some money to live off because the retarded guy won that win for life. So he gets $1,000 a week for life. He doesn't have a ton of money, but that's enough money for a guy who used to be retarded to live well.
Yeah.
That's our basis right there. That's what we're working with. And then every week try to have episodes where the first season ends where the guy is starting to realize he's being really tricked and needs to find something out. And the other guy is starting to feel bad for what he was taking advantage of, but he still wants to live his lifestyle and try to go that weird route with it. But there'll be like, he has an arch enemy, which is another guy. He worked at a grocery store, and the other guy was really good at pushing carts. But this guy, the main character, is like the best at carts. He's the tard cart champion, and he was the best at it. But now that he's not retarded, he has to go through life still faking he's retarded, or he'll lose all his benefits and all his things. So now he's pretending to be retarded, but he's not retarded. And he's like, he still goes to the bathroom with people because he has to watch a YouTube video, one whole episode, to learn how to wipe, and that goes down a weird rabbit hole because he doesn't know what videos to watch, or he's typing things wrong and he's seeing some weird stuff. But and it's all going down these things. And like, and his godfather's watching him as a conspiracy theorist based on like how Brandon thinks. So he always yells out these conspiracies. The retarded guy always thought these were facts, and now he has to start debunking all these things throughout his life too that he also believes. So there's a lot there. It's complex, but I think if you get past the part where yes, the guy was retarded and now he's not retarded, I think it's got legs.
I think so. Kind of reminds me of, do you remember Lawnmower Man?
Yes, it is kind of like Lawnmower Man, except Lawnmower Man became smart. This guy won't be smart.
He's just average. He's just
maybe
average.
Really not even that. He passes off as average. He has the ability to now learn, but everything he's known for, let's say 33 years old, is what was taught to a retarded person. So he's now got to kind of like decipher those things. Like someone said to me on Twitter, who would play the love interest? And I was like, an ice cream cone, because that's who he loved for like 33 years. Ice cream.
Well, it would be funny if your love interest is somebody who was always really nice to him because she was just the kind of person who was just always wanted to be nice to people who were retarded and had Down syndrome, and volunteered to help them. And so he's known her all his whole life and always had a crush on her. And now he's a normal person. He wants to pursue her and finds out that the only reason she was attracted to him at all was because he was retarded.
Like a fat chaser? She's a tard chaser.
Yeah. So now that he's become a normal person, he thinks he's got a shot at her. And so that you could have that weird dichotomy going on between those two.
That definitely could do that. Also, you could go that route, but do it through like when he was retarded, the other guy put him on Tinder to try to get him like for double date. Like, my retarded friend wants a date. And then when he got non-retarded, he went on Tinder and saw that this one woman was like loving him and never responded. And that's where they go on that date and you find out she was a tard. Because what Brandon and I were thinking about, I like your angle too. We were also thinking that he did have a girlfriend, but she's retarded. And now he's not. And now it's weird, and he doesn't. And they weren't like doing much. They were just two retarded people that were like holding hands. But now it's real weird for him and real weird for her. So he's got to pretend to be. It could be very awkward. It could go wrong. I think it will be funny when it goes wrong. But I think because of what's going on, we can't obviously. And you're someone I thought of because you've made shows and movies on YouTube and things like that, and you and I talk about those things. I think the best way to do it. And by the way, the idea of this, which I told people on the podcast the other day, a couple series on TV had their series finales, like Modern Family and Schitt's Creek and stuff like that, and they both put out documentaries about like the making of the last season, and and showing the character and how this show has changed America and all that. And I was watching those and saying, imagine if they did one about a show that never got picked up, like a documentary, and they did it. But they did it in anticipation of it being this great show, but it never once got picked up. They were ballsy and already started making the documentary like, this will be the greatest next Seinfeld. It's going to be the greatest show of all times. So they're being cocky in it, but it never once get picked up because right away they go, well, the premise is this. The guy was retarded. He's not retarded anymore. Not like Quantum Leap when he would leap into people. Not like Flowers for Algernon. No, this is a fun, quirky comedy. It's like,
well, it would be funny if they get into like almost the full season. They've spent all this money and they're shopping it around to get it picked up. And that's when they come to the realization that this was actually a horrible idea because of all the backlash they're getting from, different organizations, Special Olympics and
or they got backlash because they actually hired a lot of retarded actors, and then the Screen Actors Guild got mad because they feel a lot of their actors can definitely pass as retarded, and why weren't they taken into consideration? Because they might not be retarded on paper, but they're pretty much retarded.
So you're casting actual retarded,
yes,
mentally challenged people.
I want to have a lot of them. If this show really happened, I want a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like a
so
lot.
You're casting them, but then the backlash isn't because you hired the backlash is that you hired them and they think that you're taking advantage of them.
Right.
So you're trying to do what you think is a good thing, but everybody else is turning it into a horrible thing because they say no, you should use just kind of flip the whole narrative on it.
I think it'd be great if we had even like the casting special where we're sitting there and there's a room full of people who kind of look retarded, and then we're like, nope, not enough, too much. All right, take it down.
You know who would be perfect for your lead?
No, I don't.
Todd Johnson.
Oh, Todd. Is he still on Idaho based still? Is that where he's still at?
Yeah.
He's a fantastic comic, but yeah, that was his whole thing. Yeah, but that actually would be I think people wouldn't believe it. And then it would be, people would think that, wow, Todd was really retarded this whole time. And it's like, no.
Another, like maybe later second season.
Anyone out there, by the way, when you're watching this, please Google, and he will come up right away. He's a hilarious comedian. Comedian Todd Johnson. And you won't go, is it this one? You're going to go, okay, okay. That's him.
We'll know immediately who we're talking about.
Right. He will look like if John Panette was just a thumb. Like, that's basically what his look is. And Todd's hilarious. And Todd would be amazing. Todd would be amazing at the Rodney, it just made me happy. Here's what I want to do. Because we can't meet up and do things with people, I want to start every week writing scripts and I'll put on the Patreon, Zoom table reads where we're all reading and people can watch. So if this quarantine ends and we can do it, we've got things, we're there, we're ready. And then like, it's actually a built thing and people watching. I think with doing this right, we could make people look past the part of the horrible premise and see this for a funny show. And other people who would get upset, it would cause a buzz. Because right now, like I was saying with Brandon yesterday, right now people are still getting upset at things, but no one cares that people are getting upset. That's the nice thing about this quarantine, about this pandemic. Before all this, if you went online and said, that guy said Chinese, I don't like when people say the word Chinese, and then someone else will go, yeah, don't say Chinese. The third guy's like, yeah, but, all I said was Chinese food. Like, shut up, you're terrible too. And they would all mob in together. Now, because of what's going on, one guy will go, I don't like that you said Chinese. And then everyone goes like, I can't have Chinese food because I have to stay 6 feet away from my favorite Chinese food place. I'm not really mad right now. I'd like to have Chinese food. So I think right now is the perfect. I could tell when I put that post up, if that was 4 months ago, I would have caught backlash. I wouldn't have got 60 to 70 likes and like 10 retweets. People saying, someone retweeted and then wrote, this is the show the world needs right now.
Well, here's an interesting idea. What do you think of this? How about the thing that causes him to overcome this is basically the thing that cures him is the coronavirus.
See, Brandon brought that up too. Brandon brought up that maybe the vaccine made him better. And I think we need to stay away from that. I think that could be the one thing that would cause I think that would be the one that would, if we said that, if you, because anyone who died of having coronavirus or whatever would be like, so they're not dead. They're just They're just not retarded now. Are you saying
Okay.
just retarded people got it? Is it
Or
like, is it the retarded sickle cell? Is that what it is?
or another, like I was thinking, maybe like a later down second or third season, have it so that other people start figuring it out, and they start talking about it, and all of a sudden he becomes famous because people figure out that he used to be challenged and now he's not, and that people start to have a cult following, and he actually ends up becoming like a cult leader.
Ooh,
Because people think that he's like touched by God, or that he somehow has new insights and understanding because of this experience.
Yeah, he's Jesus Christ, because Re instead of G. Like Jesus Christ. Like, all right, I died. I didn't die for your sins, but I took the short bus. It's like, and that's hard. But I like that. We were thinking, and this can lead into it perfectly. At the end of season 1, the guy who's the jerk kind of taking advantage, but also the friend, it kind of like becomes his buddy and starts to feel bad, but also realizes he can't live life without the benefits and all the things he's done. He tries to make himself retarded. So this guy is now trying to do things to himself, like that he thinks like run into traffic or do whatever. And I think maybe because of that, this guy, the main character, will feel bad and find out and try to get himself to become retarded again, try to hurt himself in some weird, great way that can make it comical, but also terrible. You know what I mean? Like he's rolling around trying to, he's basically giving blowjobs to exhaust pipes or something. He's just running around sucking them off, and everyone's like, "What is the guy doing?" But he doesn't like the taste, and he used to have no problem putting his mouth on exhaust pipes and windows and stuff, but now he's lost that taste, that vigor that retarded people get when they like tasting things that are gross. People see him doing that, and they ask why, and his story comes out. And now it becomes this thing. It's like maybe people try to help him become retarded. It becomes this movement. Help him become retarded again. And it's like, make whatever I said his name was. make America great again. Make whatever retarded again. It would make hats. And it's like, and by the way, I said this with Brandon. This is not even an insult to him. This would be Trump's favorite show. When they were talking about Modern Family, they said that was Obama's favorite show. Mitt Romney loved that show. There was other presidential candidates that said that Schitt's Creek was their favorite. I don't think there'd be a question that Trump would be like, yeah, I watch this. I watch this a lot. I think this is great. I think this is a tremendous idea. I'm happy that the American people are open-minded to this. I think it makes – and by the way, this show would be very pro-retard. I'm going to push that every time I talk about it. It would be super pro-retard.
Yeah, you could.
We'd have our first retarded wedding. First retarded wedding would be on the show. We've had gay weddings, all that on TV. The first retarded gay wedding. Maybe go there. That would be huge. Why not? You know what? Why not? I want to have all that kind of. I was mentioning the Dance with the Stars. I want Dancing with the Tards. Like I want that. He starts to get famous, and we could do that kind of stuff. There's a lot we could do. But that arch nemesis of his will always have like battles. Like he'll be challenging him. He's on to. He's like, I'm on to you. I've got my eye on you. But he points to his ear, obviously, because he doesn't know where his eye is. And he's like, I got my eye on you. And so like when he's not. So they're fake retarded. He challenged, like, I want to take your spot as top tard cart guy, and they have to have tard cart Olympics. So he doesn't know how to be the cart master anymore. So he goes back and finds the guy who trained him, like an 80-year-old retarded man, who's like the retarded Mick from like Rocky, and he trains him. He's like, you got to chase this chicken, but it's actually a shoe because he doesn't know that. And so he's like, I caught it. He goes, you're ready. And that's really it. But and then this one guy always trying to foil him, like. There's a retarded guy, and he might have a sidekick or a cocoon, whatever, but he's always going around trying to like foil him from all his things and break up his plans. But he doesn't have any. But he knows that he's being hoodwinked, and he's fake retarded. I think there's a lot there. I think we do. I mean, Ty would be great, but I think there needs to be at least one, like Danny DeVito when he came to season 2 of Always Sunny, we need that one person out. Or people are like, whoa, wait, this guy's on board. Like I could see like maybe the shitty helper being someone like Kelsey Grammer. Like I being all of a sudden you're like, whoa, he's like a scumbag. Like if it was like Nick Nolte or somebody, you could see him doing it. Somebody who kind of wasn't in that, you know what I mean? Like I could see that.
Yeah.
And it's funny you said Todd Johnson. You know who I thought of, but he would never ever do it. You know, I don't know him. You know him. Brian Regan would be amazing.
Oh,
As a guy
yeah.
who used to be retarded. I hate to say, but a lot of people from your neck of the woods, Ryan Hamilton, a lot of people would fit that because what you need is innocence. To play that role, you need to be able to pull off true innocence. I think Michael Cera, someone like you need a boyish type thing. You need to be able to pull off that kind of vulnerability, that gullibleness that seems real, because you can't. The actor can't ever really change. We're not going to make it so it's like all of a sudden he looks different, like he's like Urkel, then he's Stefan when he changed into like the cool guy. It can't be like. But we did say the theme song should be like those TikTok videos, like maybe like we're in the two screens here, we're facing each other, and like one's retarded him and one's regular him, and they're like singing the song at each other, so you can see it, but it's not much of a change. Someone has to pull it off. It has to be believable enough where people still believe he's still retarded, but he also can blend into regular world for people who didn't know him. He can start pursuing new things outside of there, but also in his regular world, because he's got to keep he's living with his godfather, but only because of the money that's there, and he's all the help they're getting. And his godfather still needs that help because he can't afford to take care of him, so he can't tell him. So he's got to still live that way and wake up every. Like he'd have a race car bed with one flat tire. We were saying like model. Carla was telling me maybe I would model airplanes fly around the front, like the top. That sounds like something somebody with special needs would like. Model airplanes hanging off their ceiling, like those little the room would look kiddish or whatever. He had to keep his regular job. He has to keep up with all the benefits he gets and stuff. So you'd have to pull that off. But it'd be funny every time he'd have to pretend to be retarded. So I think there'd be a whole episode where he's Googling famous retarded people and he comes across Corky and he didn't know who that was from Life Goes On. And then he finds out everyone in his life was always calling him Corky and it thought it was a fun name, but they were all insulting him. And that becomes his C word. And he's just like, don't speak that word to me. It's like, and someone said, I think many times it'd be funny if someone said the word retarded and he goes, excuse me, you're not allowed to use that word. Only I am. Because I'm part retarded. It's like, how dare you? And I don't like when you hard R it. It's e-tarded. I think there's so much you can do with it where it becomes like a running thing.
Yeah.
I think it's got legs.
I think so.
There's worse ideas out there. There was a show called Two Guys, a Girl in a Pizza Place. That made it a season. That made Ryan Reynolds. The world learned about Ryan Reynolds from that thing. I think Ryan Reynolds would be a great retarded guy.
Yeah.
And I think the friend, though, needs to be a scumbag. But I like it to be someone who never was. I like the Kelsey Grammer idea. I'm trying to think who else could play a good. But we also need somebody who's kind of washed, like Judd Hirsch. But I don't know if he should be that old. Maybe Judd Hirsch is better as the Godfather. I don't know if the guy taking advantage of should be super old, because I think they'll have too much of a feel of Always Sunny where the scumbag's an older guy. Who's a younger scumbag? Or a guy who could play a jerk, taking advantage of someone. Who I think of when I think of actors like that?
Steve Buscemi would be.
Yeah, but he's older too. I'm trying to think like someone they could play like in the 30s or something like that. I don't know. Vin Diesel?
I don't know. It's hard because there's really not a lot of young, good character actors.
Well, I'm not in the world, but there's some TV shows and all these Netflix specials that there are people out there that could do it. It would probably have to be somebody English. They wouldn't use their English. Ooh, it'd be great. I know he's older, but taking that Daryl from Walking Dead.
Norman
Reedus. He can look like, you could put the hair in a ponytail. You put like a big beard on him. You could change the look and make him look kind of Seagal-y, like he's caught in a Seagal era. Yeah. He could play that good. He looks like the kind of guy that would have that job. And by the way, he wouldn't be we would find out later on that he actually didn't work for the state. He was taking it under the. He said he did, but he said he was a private worker, like, but not for the state. And he was taking money under the table from this guy, and he actually wasn't. And then he was getting benefits through him, and he was finagling all this. So he's a scumbag, but he has to also be charming. And Norman Reedus can be charming.
That's true. Yeah. No,
Can Todd Johnson out-charm Norman Reedus? That's the question we have right now. I think so, because I've spoken with Todd, never spoken with Norman Reedus, but Todd is 11 years ago. Todd made me think that shows we were doing together were going to be good, and they weren't. But I believed him, so he can be charming and he can trick people into doing something retarded. I think that works, but I think he would be good. I think when we do the table read, you should talk to Todd and say, "I know you're going to be insulted for a minute." There he is. I was gonna say if you had his email, we should just hit him up and see if he's around and have him pop in right here. But now that he's gonna be on there, and not that a lot of people listen to my podcast, but someone's gonna go, "Holy shit! They just said Todd Johnson. They just showed Todd Johnson." Rodney is good friends with him. We are not making fun of Todd. Todd would find this hilarious. Todd would be psyched to be talked about a lead role of a TV show.
No, he does. For those who were there out there, Todd Johnson does a bit about the fact that he looks like he's got Down syndrome. He does a bit about it
because Todd looks like he has Down syndrome,
and he can pull. He does the face and everything, and it is spot on. I mean,
I did always laugh when he did it, and he's like, "Hold on," he would do a face. I'm like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but you don't have to do the face, like. Like you don't have to. Like if you said to me right now, "Hold on, I'm going to become a wizard," I'd be like, "I don't have to hold on." There you go. You did it. But even that, you didn't even need to go back and do the hair or whatever. Like if I said, "Hold on, I'm going to go be Fabio," I'd need to go put on a wig. I couldn't just be it. But if I was just going to be like, an angry thing. And by the way, I don't know if you're noticing the glare from my new glasses. In the last 2 weeks, I've officially became an old person. I'm on new blood pressure medication, and I have bifocals. And I have to learn. I always wondered why old people, when they read things, would put their head up and like look down at you. I thought they were assholes. That's where they put the part where you read close. Like I have to go like that now. I'm that asshole who has to look up and read and to see things on like a label. I hate that. I've become old so fast, but I can see better now at least.
It's funny. My eyesight kind of goes back and forth. It'll be just fine for a long time, and then for like a month, all of a sudden I have to wear glasses, and then it goes back to being normal.
Yeah, I think you're having a stroke. I think that's what's happening. I was supposed to wear glasses my entire life, and there was a while where I said, I forget, I don't want to wear them. I have one eye that's like X-Men. It's like super powered. And I have one eye that's basically Ray Charles. And and it is. It's really what it is. And then the two of them, when they get together, one overcompensates for the other, and therefore I can see things. But it was getting tougher. Like the main reason why I realized it is because this day and age now, if you go to someone's house and you want their Wi-Fi password, it's usually on a very tiny label on the side of on that little internet box. And people are like, "Oh, go check it out." And I could not see that. That's what I was like. I could not see the numbers. I could not do it. I'd have to take my phone, take a picture of it clear, then zoom it out to get the thing. And that's like, all right, if I can't see that, then I need to see something. Not that I was getting headaches or anything. I'm like, well, my healthcare covered it. Why not get them? I think my head could use a new accessory, and I think it works. I think it gives me a little less of a dickhead look. Or a new dickhead. I used to look like a biker, and now I look like the guy who does the books for the biker. And I think that's a good look.
Yeah, I think I like it.
I also think by saying that and really thinking about it, why am I trying to cast the guy who should be an asshole taking advantage of retarded people when it's me? It's me. If Todd and I are in this show, it's a good show. Like I looked that part. It looks believable. I could pull that off. I think I'm going crazy thinking I think we do like Always Sunny. We do the first season. And then if we can get a big name, we write in a new character for season 2 that can add to that has some pop. But I don't think we need it. I think we got Todd, we got me. You play the God. You're the Godfather. the guy with conspiracy theories and used and it has to now watch the guy. You're a nice person. You just yell at crazy things. You've got that look of a man who served, and you were a man that served. I think we're there. I think we're there. Now we just need, like, a bunch of retarded people, which, by the way, we will hire 100% free range organic retarded people. It won't be anybody. If anyone's like, is this like GMO? No, it's not. It's GM. Yes, it's not GM. No, it's the purest. No, not. I don't want to say purebred retard, because we'll definitely take mutts, but like we definitely want someone. I also think that what was the other thing? Where Brand and I had all these different things, like he would have other friends, but maybe they're not retarded. Maybe there's other disabilities, have other, because I would think that people would just lump them together. I think when he was younger, like other parents would be like,
Yeah,
well, why?
they usually did. They would always put them together. It was always
Right. When
kind of
I was a
weird.
kid at school, there'd be somebody who was retarded, somebody who had cerebral palsy, and someone who had dyslexia, and they were all in the same class. It's just like,
Yeah.
what is going on? I think that definitely can work. But I think the other characters should have, like, one should have like webbed hands, and one should have like a tail, or things like that. And then one should just be a girl, and she's just misunderstood. Or she says she identifies as retarded. Ooh, that's a whole episode.
Oh, there you
She
go.
identifies as retarded, and it becomes this battle where she hears that he's trying to become retarded. He's having this struggle, and she speaks out as a white woman who identifies, and it wouldn't be gender fluid. It would be not mental fluid. What would it be?
Uh,
Chromosome fluid?
Intellectual fluid,
Yeah, helmet fluid.
fluid. Yeah, you could have it where she, when she was in grade school, she got accidentally, they mixed up her test score. They put her in that class, and she enjoyed it so much that she just pretended that she was supposed to be there, because she just, she's like, well, I just finger paint all day. Why would you not want to do this?
It's great. Now, even helping, I can now add real life things to this. When I was younger, one of my sisters, we only know this story because she told us. She was staying home one day from school, and she wasn't feeling well. She was home alone, and with no one in the house, she decided to say, what would it be like if she was retarded? And she laid in bed and just went, "Ah," and did that for like an hour and pretended like she was retarded. We only know this because when we got home, she goes, guess what I did? And we're like, why would you tell us? But that girl could also be doing that stuff. Like, she has times where she acts it out and does that kind of stuff. We could have the identifies retarded. We could have retarded pronouns.
Yeah.
We can add that. It could be a whole movement. Season 2 could become like when the cult starts to happen, which I love. The cult will definitely be season 2. And the season 2 will be called One Downs, One to Go. And I think, see, I was born for this. But so we do that. We get that whole season there. And in the second season, there's a cult, but then we need someone to battle. And that will be this girl who identified as retarded, was shunned from the community, and now starts this activist group to shut down this retarded cult from this guy who is a mockery, and he's not really retarded, and he's taking advantage. So all of a sudden, he becomes the guy they think's taking advantage of people, but he was put in this thing. And this
They
woman,
think he was faking being retarded,
right?
and
Not that
she thinks that's what's happened because that's what she did.
right. That could be the only explanation, because every day she's prayed to become retarded and it didn't work. So I don't know why that he got to have this great wish. So, and that definitely could work that way. And that'd be the funny thing. He'd have to defend himself saying he's not pretending to be retarded, but then people look back and go, but yeah, but this and all the other episodes where he was pretending, but then he has to go, well, I was pretending then because I wasn't ready to deal with the change. And people are like, maybe you always were pretending. And then maybe he starts to think, was I ever retarded? Was this something in my head? And there could be a great dream sequence and probably a musical number. And I think that could work out very well. I think we are onto something huge.
I think you are.
I think this is the greatest thing of all times. Are any of your kids still in no one's school, college, or
No, they're all
everyone's
older
out of that now?
yeah.
My kids are in high school level, and we're gonna get off the retard topic now. We're gonna end it with something else here.
Okay.
my kids are in high school level and they're doing the online school through their school, and it's a good program. They're doing it well. They're using the right classrooms, and they have to check in every day, and they're not always in a classroom with other people. I think a lot of people who don't have kids think it's, oh, they're just sitting there from a thing and probably on their phones. No, it's not them in a classroom. They have to check in. They get assignments sent to them, and then they have to do the work and have to submit it through this thing. And then the teacher sees if they submitted or didn't submit it in a certain amount of time. If they don't get it done by the end of the day, then they have to make that stuff up, or they get a pass or fail. They're not doing A, B, C, or D. You can't really do that right now. It's pass fail.
Yeah.
They just recently announced, originally they said, no school all of April. We'll let you know in May. In Connecticut, Governor Lamont just said that now they're going to hold off school at least till May 20th. We all know they're not going back to school. Everyone knows they're not going to go back to school.
Yeah.
You think the reason why they're doing this is because they wanted to find out one more way to make kids hate school? Seriously, it's the only reason you would do it. Just everyone else knows what, we're going to try to do this, we're going to do that. With kids, they're like, well, we can't tell them when they can leave because then they won't just do school. We got to tell them, we got to keep structure in their head. So we'll just keep telling them there's a chance they can go back at any time. So if not, they won't do their work and they'll run around, but they can't run around. They're stuck in there and they have to do their stuff. Why not just tell the kids, hey, we'll see you in September. But if you want to move on to your next grade in September, you've got to do this work, because in September, we might still see you online. We don't know. It might still be this. And I think there's also going to be a lot of students that are, we're all dealing with it as adults. A very funny comic Dave Temple put on Twitter. He said, after a month of spending life as old people, I think we should all apologize to them and spend time with them now so we know how tough their lives are. But we can learn how to adjust. This is going to be a very tough time for anyone growing up. I would say between 8 and 13, 14, the impressionable ages where you're going to grow up afraid of things. Even for a couple of months, there are going to be kids who are not going to be ready to go back into school because they've been fear. Their parents are trying to make sure they don't do dumb things. So therefore, a lot of parents, I'm sure, are making it even scarier than it is. To tell them you can't you can't do this. So these kids are probably going to want to have. There's going to be certain kids that are not going to be able to go to school, and they're going to be kids that have to be in the classroom through this, while other kids are in the classroom, and they're going to have to be two types. You know what I mean? They're going to have to adjust, and that's going to be your new bullying. You're a video boy or you're real life human. It's like
yeah.
And that,
I could see this becoming the future of school for a lot of areas, like more rural areas. School districts could save a lot of money not having to bus kids in, and this is going to change a lot of things. That just because people realize, oh, we can do this, and it's not that bad. It's actually there's some benefits to this. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all this shakes out.
I just think a lot of teachers are going to get fired. I don't think they're needed. I don't even think it's going to – I think you're right. The right thing is to say, hey, for a lot of people out in the rural parts we can't get schooling to, we could get – or areas that teachers aren't the best or skilled or whatever, we can get better schooling to you. Kids that are afraid to leave their home because they live in bad areas, we can bring schooling to you in a safer environment because you're inside. But then – if we start making kids go to – now I'm going to sound like Brandon – but if I start making kids go to school through the internet, then it becomes a government-related thing, and now the internet needs to be in everyone's homes because some kids don't have it. So therefore now the government is controlling who gets internet and who doesn't. So now we're living in like a Eastern world rule where we have to say you need to have the internet, but now we can see everything you're doing on the internet. So
yeah,
which I'm fine with. I'm sorry, I'm fine.
Well, yeah,
you can see all the porn. If the president wants to see what porn I watch, I'm cool with it. We're comics. We talk about it on stage anyway.
I look at it this way. If you're doing illegal stuff and you're doing it on the internet and on your phone, you deserve to get caught.
Yeah, you're a moron. And if you haven't already been caught, we should fire some of the police that are they're not catching you. Who's on there? If you're trying to sell, if you're selling people on eBay, it's maybe someone should pay attention. It's a people. You can't just sell people on
Well,
eBay.
probably my favorite conspiracy of all this, which I really hope is true. I don't know if you've heard this one or not. If Brandon brought this one up, is that the basically what's happening is that they're using this as a cover to bring down international sex trades and child trafficking.
Did it though?
Well, the thing is that by being able to stop them from being able to move, because they're a lot of those trades, they just keep the children moving, so they can never they're moving from one jurisdiction to another, but they can never catch them.
Yeah, but do you really think if you're someone who's going to traffic children, do you think you listen to quarantine rules?
Well, I know, but that's the thing is if you have everybody else stop, now it's easier to watch them. They can't just blend in with society because society isn't there to blend in with.
Right, but now
So,
they have new ways to do it.
I know,
You can
but
very easily find out who's at home and who's not. Who's the essentials? Do the essentials have to go to work? Do they have kids at home? Okay, now I know where to go exactly.
Yeah, well, see, and
did I just help people traffic?
I just hope that I hope that conspiracy is true. I hope that they're using this opportunity to take down some bad people.
Well, and here's the thing, though. I don't know what you feel it is. Is sex trafficking and child trafficking an essential or non-essential job? Because if it's not essential, if you say it's not essential, they can't work.
Essential.
What,
I would say stopping it is essential.
But do you think is it essential? Do you think that people who only can enjoy trafficked humans, do you think they need this to survive in the same way that some people need Pop-Tarts?
Well, it's their livelihood. It's how they make money.
No, I mean the people who, yeah, I understand that's how they make money. But also, you and I make money off comedy. We make people laugh. We entertain. We make people feel good. People who sell traffic people to other people are the luckiest people in the world. No, I mean like people who sell people. Those people are bringing joy to someone too, but so they should be shut down. It's entertainment, so it should be shut down. But if they're essential, then they should be allowed to work, I guess. So therefore, we could catch them. If you said, okay, that's what you should do. Hey, because I think pedophiles and traffickers are not that bright. So what you do is you say, hey, pedophiles, traffickers, kidnappers, you're all essential. All you need to do is fill out this form to let us know you're still working. And we will allow you to keep working and we will send you a check in the mail. And then we round them all up. I think I just solved crime. I think I just solved all crime.
You brought it to a head. And
I'm going to bring this podcast to a head. Rodney, thank you for being patient for the hour or so when I didn't know how to hit a button. Where can people follow you? You got any things going on? And I need to know an answer. When the table read starts, are you in for a fun, even if there's not anything?
I'm in for it.
We're going to have like 10 people there. We're going to put it on my Patreon, but do a Zoom table read of everybody. We'll send everybody scripts and any ideas you have of it. Help us write things. Every week we'll write week to week, and we'll make changes while doing the table reads.
Sure.
So okay, where can they follow you?
Well, I've gotten word that my dry bar special might actually be released soon.
Ooh, really? Finally, they're going to release it. Good.
It's been over 3 years, but might actually get released.
Well, they need content now.
Yeah, they're desperate enough. It took a world pandemic and the entire economy coming to a crashing halt that they went, why not? What do we got to lose?
What's the name of the special?
Stay focused. And then just Facebook, Twitter. I'm on.
Oh, that was the name of the special. I thought you were yelling at me for not listening to you. It's like,
stay focused. That's the name of it.
That was my joke that failed. All right. I miss comedy too. Okay. So Rodney, thank you so much for being on.
Bet.
Go ahead. Oh, we're done. Yay, we did it.